So in this lecture we'll discuss the expression for conductivity of semiconductor. So let us consider a specimen of a semiconductor having the cross-sectional area A, and let L be the length of this specimen of a semiconductor. Then when no voltage is applied to this specimen of semiconductor, then it has free electrons and free holes, and according to free electron theory they are free to move in all possible directions randomly inside the semiconductor. But as soon as you apply the potential difference of V volts to the end faces of this semiconductor, then the random motion of electrons and holes, it becomes the directed motion, and the electrons being negatively charged, they will get attracted towards the positive terminal of the battery, while holes being positively charged, they will get attracted towards the negative terminal of the battery. And then we show the direction of conventional current I to be in the direction of flow of holes, or it is opposite to the flow of electrons. So in case of semiconductor, there are two types of charge carriers, that is current is carried due to the motion of electrons as well as due to the motion of holes, and hence the total current I which flows through the specimen of semiconductor is the sum of two currents, that is current carried by the motion of electron and the current which is carried by the motion of holes. So if n is the electron density, that is the number of electrons which are crossing this cross-sectional area A of the semiconductor, where this P is the hole density, so it is the number of holes which crosses this cross-sectional area A, where E is charge of electron or hole. You know that the charge of electron and hole, they are equal, just they are opposite in sign. Then if VE is the drift velocity of electrons and VH is the drift velocity of holes, where mu E is the mobility of electrons and mu H is the mobility of holes, then you know that the electric field intensity which exists across the semiconductor, which is subjected to potential difference of V volts and having length L, that electric field intensity across the specimen will be E is equal to V by L. And if these are the that is N is electron density, P is hole density, E is charge of electron and hole, VE is the drift velocity acquired by the electrons and VH is the drift velocity acquired by the holes, and mu E is the mobility of electrons and mu H is the mobility of holes, then according to free electron theory we can write for the current which flows due to the motion of electrons as IE is equal to NE into VE into A. Similarly, we can write for the current due to the motion of holes as IH is equal to P into E into VH into A. So this is the equation according to the free electron theory. Now here in this equation, if we substitute the value of VE, where VE is the drift velocity acquired by the electrons, then we can write for the total current I, which is basically the sum of two currents, that is IE plus IH. So I again write this equation as N into E. Now here I put the value of VE, where VE is the drift velocity which is equal to mu E into E, where mu E is the mobility of electrons and E is the electric field intensity which exists across the specimen of semiconductor. So it will be N into E into mu E into E, plus similarly now I can write for IH as P into E instead of VH, where VH is the drift velocity acquired by the holes. So I can write for VH as mu H into E into A. So now we know what is the value of E, that is electric field intensity, which is V by L, and therefore now we can write for the current I as N into E into mu E into E, where E is V by L, plus this P into E into mu H into V by L into A. So now I can take out certain quantities as common, as E into V by L is common, and in bracket I can write for N into mu E plus P into mu H. Now if I write this equation in terms of resistance, so resistance R is equal to V by I according to Ohm's law, and therefore resistance R is equal to V by I, which is equal to L upon E into N into mu E plus P into mu H. So this is the equation in terms of resistance. Now you know that the resistivity is defined as rho is equal to R into A by L, where R is the resistance of the specimen, A is the cross sectional area, and L is the length of the specimen. So if I rewrite this or rearrange this equation in terms of resistivity, then sorry, here there is one more term which is A. So this A is also common over here, and therefore it will come in the denominator. So it will be L upon A into E into N into mu E plus P into mu H. Now if I rearrange this equation in terms of R into A by L, then I will get the equation for resistivity. So resistivity will be rho is equal to, so in order to rearrange this equation in terms of resistivity, I take this A to the left hand side and L also to the left hand side. So L will come in the denominator, A will go to the numerator, and then it will be 1 upon E into N into mu E plus P into mu H. So resistivity rho will be 1 upon E into N into mu E plus P into mu H. Now this is the equation in terms of resistivity, but we are going to derive the equation for conductivity of a semiconductor, and therefore you know that the reciprocal of resistivity is conductivity. So conductivity sigma will be reciprocal of resistivity, and that will be equal to E into N into mu E plus P into mu H. So this is the expression for conductivity of a semiconductor. Now this is the general expression for conductivity of a semiconductor. From this general expression of a conductivity of semiconductor, if we put some specific conditions, then we can derive the equations for conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor as well as conductivity for extrinsic semiconductor. Now first we will see for intrinsic semiconductor. So for intrinsic semiconductor, you know what is mean by intrinsic semiconductor. Intrinsic semiconductor are those semiconductor which are pure in their form, no impurity agent is added to it, so it is called as the pure semiconductor or intrinsic semiconductor. Now for pure semiconductor or intrinsic semiconductor, you know that the charge carriers for intrinsic semiconductor are exactly equal, that is the number of electrons is exactly equal to the number of holes, and since the number of electrons is exactly equal to the number of holes, so it is represented by another letter, say Ni, where this Ni represents the number of intrinsic charge carriers, because N is exactly equal to P, and that is represented by simply Ni, where Ni is the number of intrinsic charge carriers. So if I replace this N and P by Ni, where Ni is the number of intrinsic charge carriers, then I can write down the conductivity for intrinsic semiconductor, that is sigma intrinsic will be equal to, now if I replace this N and P by Ni, then Ni also can be taken out of the bracket, so it will be Ni into E into mu E plus mu H. So this is the expression for conductivity of a intrinsic semiconductor. This formula is important. Frequently the questions will appear in the examination on this topic for conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor, where you have given the number of intrinsic charge carriers and mobility of electrons and holes. Knowing the charge of electron E, which is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb, you can calculate the conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor. Now for if we want to write down the conductivity for extrinsic semiconductor, then you know that there are two extrinsic semiconductors. One is a n-type semiconductor and the other one is a p-type semiconductor. So for n-type semiconductor, you know that majority charge carriers are electrons, and therefore for n-type semiconductor the electron density n is very much greater than the hole density, which is p, and therefore if we in this general expression for conductivity of semiconductor, if we neglect this term p into mu h, because this p is very small as compared to n, and therefore if we neglect this term, that is p into mu h, from the general expression for conductivity of semiconductor, then we can obtain the expression for conductivity of n-type semiconductor, that is sigma n will be equal to n into E into mu E. So this is the expression for conductivity of n-type semiconductor, while for p-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are holes, and you know that the number of holes is very much greater than the number of electrons for p-type, that is hole density is very much greater than the electron density, and therefore for p-type semiconductor now we can neglect out this term, which is n into mu E, and therefore now we can write down the expression for conductivity of p-type semiconductor as sigma p is equal to p into E into mu h. So these formulas for conductivity of p-type semiconductor, n-type semiconductor and intrinsic semiconductor, these formulas are important. Frequently the questions are asked on calculating the conductivity, provided the electron density and the mobility, or you may be provided with the conductivity or resistivity and the mobility of electrons, and you've been asked to calculate what is the number of charge carriers or what is the number of electrons that is been asked. So if the resistivity or conductivity is given and mobility of electrons is given, and you have been asked to calculate what is the number of dopant atoms which are added into the pure silicon or germanium sample, then the number of dopant atoms will be exactly equal to the number of electrons, because the donor, whenever a donor impurity is added into the pure silicon or germanium structure, each donor atom contributes one free electron for conduction. So whatever be the number of electron you calculate, that number will be exactly equal to the donor atoms. Or if you have been provided with the conductivity or resistivity of a p-type semiconductor, and you have given the mobility of holes, then knowing the charge of this electron, you can calculate the hole density, that is the number of holes present in the semiconductor, which is a p-type semiconductor. Or if you have been asked that calculate the acceptor atoms which are added in pure silicon or germanium, provided this conductivity or resistivity and mobility of holes, then when you calculate the number of holes, that number of holes will be exactly equal to the number of acceptor atoms, because each acceptor atom contributes one free hole. So the number of holes will be exactly equal to the number of acceptor atoms. So these three formulas are important for the conductivity of semiconductor.